This is a different kind of senior moment where I just stand up here and forget what I was supposed to say. Not yet, not yet. Thank you, Emily. It's been such a joy to watch you grow and engage and become more comfortable and just become part of the leadership of what makes the youth group the youth group. And our youth group kids asked me, will we always be your OG youth group when you go to your new church? And I said, guys, my OG youth are turning 30 this year. And they said, how old are you? And I went, well, we'll talk about that. But one of the greatest joys that I have is in the pastoral role is being in churches where I've had the joy of being involved in the youth ministries and just watching you all grow through these formative years and to try to find, a balance and a horizon point and a faith and in the journey is something that keeps me going as a human being and as a pastor. Because there's a lot of days where I'll have a day full of committee meetings where we have to talk about really adult type of things, and then we go to youth group, and it's just going to be youth group, and it's always a place where I feel like I can be my truest self in a lot of ways, and I am just reinvigorated and given life by the vitality that you all have, even when you're going through hard things. So thank you. Something that my youth pastor said to me when I was growing up is that his real goal was aimed at nothing in the present, but was aimed at us 10 to 20 years in the future. He said there's going to be days in your life where you're faced with real adult challenges, and you're going to experience grief, and you're going to experience difficulty. And when those days come, I want you to not look back at your faith upbringing and say, gosh, it was fun, the fun we had in youth group, but to say, wow, there was really something to all of those messages about God's faithfulness. There was really something to this faith that they were trying to get towards. We look back at our upbringing and be able to remember not just the fun we had, but the lessons about faith and God's faithfulness in our times of trial and tribulation, and the times where God makes our joys complete through God's presence and through community. And I've taken that to heart as a pastor over the years. And I personally still rely on and even preach on some of the lessons that we learned in youth group. Like, don't spend so much time being about Jesus that you forget to spend time with Jesus, or I might add, living like Jesus, as well as preach the gospel 24/7, but only when necessary, use words. Indeed, much of my pastoral strategy is to preach, write, and live in such a way that whether you realize it or not, if you're paying attention, you'll begin to learn to see the presence of God, the fingerprints of God, in every area of your life. Whether it's looking at an old family photo, going through a hike in creation, trying to run a mile for the first time, or sitting in the park on the parkway in traffic, there's probably a sermon illustration or a Thursday thought that reflects it and runs it through the lens of faith. And the youth group, when picking out the theme for today, rightly remembered what it all comes down to, and what I looked back and outlined for us in our very first sermon together in July of 2022, entitled Hello. It all comes down to this: to love your neighbor. The whole premise of all that we've been talking about and doing is operating through a worldview that perfect love is at the heart of all of creation. What I have hoped to do is to help you see it, receive it, and then from that receiving, be freed to respond and embody it in your lives. To know that you are loved, and from that place of freedom, that there's no particular image that you have to embody, that there's no particular criterion to receive love. From the freedom of that to be who you are truly created to be, then you in respond can love God, you can love your neighbor. All of that is a whole life's work. That's it. That's all the pursuit. Everything else is just gravy. So after only 4 years, I know that we still have so much to learn, so far to go in our respective journeys of learning to see and embody divine love in our lives. But I hope that our time has given you new tools, new images to draw on, new reminders of God's care for you in your daily lives. And that you can look back 10 plus years from now, from wherever that place is, and know that yes, we've had good times, but to know more deeply that love, God's love, runs through the heart of all of it. All of it. There will continue, and part of that love and part of that worldview is trusting and having faith. And more than that, I am proclaiming it over you, telling you that it is in fact truth. There will continue to be people who embody Christ's tangible love to you, whether they're pastors, whether they are youth leaders, whether they are family or friends. You will continue to experience God's love in new and unexpected ways. That is part of this journey of faith that we are given to. The same Spirit that has brought us together will continue to guide you, to empower you, to help you know of love as God is intended for it, and will send you to all of the destinations not yet reached, and to all of the travel partners not yet met, who will also have a deep and marvelous impact on your journey. Because throughout all of it, God is the one who is leading us. So thank you for being our travel companions. It has been my honor to journey with you, to be your pastor, to be your fellow traveler in your caravan, to be your friends. And I leave you with a blessing, a benediction from the Apostle Paul from 2 Thessalonians 3:16. Not quite as famous as John 3:16, but a good 3:16 nonetheless. Now may the Lord of peace, in the very divine presence itself, give you peace at all times and in all of the places you find yourself, and in every way know that the Lord is with you all. Amen.